pre-warm-up session. But we're live. Ah! How are we doing, guys? I knew we were live all along. Don't worry, don't worry. So how is everybody doing today? Hope you are doing well. For my friends and colleagues and viewers in North America, I hope everything is going okay with you guys with storms, because over here we've seen it as we see the sunshine here in Barcelona, but we hear about all these storms that are coming across the States. So make sure that you stay safe. And what better thing to do than to stay indoors and listen and watch some training. So today is going to be pretty intense because we're going to be talking about how to brand PDFs. But we're going to take it a step up. We're going to show you how to do something really awesome. Okay, so who is ready for this? Let me know where you are. Let me know how you're doing. Okay, we have Florida, we have Phoenix, Jamaica. Okay, we have Savita. Hey, Savita. Texas. Yeah, I saw that. There's lots of snow in Texas, which I never thought there was snow in Texas. Now, a couple of things. Do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Do make sure that you leave a comment. Do make sure that you like the video. Do make sure that you share the video as well if you think anybody can help. Get help with branding PDFs. And let me know that you can hear me, because that's also important to make sure that you can actually hear me okay. And once you tell me that you can, let me just check over here. And yes, so everybody is doing well. Hey, from New Delhi. Hey, good to see you. Okay, so let's rock it. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about how to easily brand PDFs. Now, first question, which I'm glad somebody thought of that question, is why would you want to brand PDFs? Well, if you're giving away a PDF or if you're selling a PDF, always make sure that you have it branded. Because I was talking to a client one day, and the client had a lovely lead generating PDF. So I would put in my email address, I would then get her PDF. And it was great. But the problem was there was no branding on it. So I read the PDF, and then 6 months later, I look at the PDF and I go, this is really good. Where did I get this from? And I don't know where I got it from. So you need to make sure that you brand your PDFs if you're giving them away, because, hopefully somebody will take the PDF, they will give it to a friend, they will give it to a friend, they will give it to a friend, and it will go viral. And then people will come back to your website. Now, not only that, but if you have a paid product as well, which you deliver in PDF format, make sure that you actually brand that as well. Why? Because again, what could happen, and let's be honest, what will happen is that somebody may give it to their friend, but at least their friend can see that it is from your site, and they may go back to your site. Or the other thing that you also want to make sure is that you can maybe brand the PDF in such a way that if somebody prints it out and photocopies it, it still has your branding in the background of it. So we're going to look at all of these things today. So who is ready? Is everybody ready? I hope so, because I'm about to start. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to do something just a little bit different today. And I'm going to actually share my screen. That's not the different thing I'm going to do. But what I'm actually going to do is I am going to share a little PowerPoint presentation that I did for you. Okay. So you should see my screen there. Okay. The first thing to do when we're talking about branding PDFs is to prepare. Okay. And what do you need? Well, first of all, you need a number of PDFs. Okay. And second of all, I put them in the other order is you may wish to put your logo on the actual PDF. Now, your logo should be 150 by 150, okay, in pixels. Now, if you have somebody who designed your logo, or if you have somebody who is going to design your logo, ask them to give it to you in various formats so that, the logo that you use to brand on your documents is going to be a different size to the logo that you're going to put on your website. So if they can give you different size logos, it's much better. And if they can give you a transparent logo, it's even better. Now, what do I mean by transparent logo? A transparent logo is your logo on a background that is transparent. Now, why would you want that? Well, if you have a transparent logo, it means that what you can do is you can put that on any document, and then the background color will you'll be able to see it. It's like having it see through, so that if I put it on a white document, you will actually see the logo perfectly. If I put it on a document that has a black background, you will also see the logo perfectly, or on a purple background, whatever it may be. And that's something called transparency. So whoever looks after your logo or designs your logo will be able to do that for you. So this is the very first important thing, because you see, with our PDF brander, you can brand and put a URL, a text, piece of text, and a URL on the PDF. You can actually put your logo on the PDF, or you can just put text if you wish to just have text. There's also something, Savita said it there, a watermark, and I'll get into the watermarks just in a second. But make sure that you have a logo which is 150 by 150. I would also recommend having a folder structure. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, when you download items, you can create a folder if you're on Mac or if you're on Windows. And I would say organize yourself. So this is the structure that I think would be good. Let me just take this off here. I would create 3 folders. One is called articles, one is called branded articles, and the other is called logo. Now, this will all make sense just in a little while. But I want you to think about this. So a folder structure, and then you have articles, branded articles, and then you have your logo. Those are the 3 things that I think are really important to have. Okay, then what? Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to search for different items. So let's just go over to PLR.me and let me share my screen. I'm just going to put this over here, and I'm going to share my whole screen here. Let me see, screen 2. Okay. So here we are on PLR.me. You can see my screen okay there. Let me just make it a little bit bigger so that you can see everything. And we want to search for a keyword here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for something like holidays, because I like holidays. Okay, and when I do that search, we'll come up with all of these holidays here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to holidays and seasonal, and I'm going to choose article and blog posts. Now, you may ask why holidays and seasonal, because I love holidays. And I was thinking, what would I like to search about today and think about today? And it was holidays. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look through all of these different articles and download a number of articles. Okay, so what I would do is, and you see the green tick there, that of course means that I've already downloaded that particular article. So I would go and I would download all of the articles onto my PC or onto my Mac, and I shall show you exactly where I did that. Now, any questions so far? Okay. Articles, branded articles, and logos. Okay. Any questions so far that people may have? Just let me know in the chat if you have any questions. Okay, so hopefully everybody is okay. Everybody knows. Okay. Now, why is organization important? Well, organization is important because what we're going to do is going to become quite if you're not organized, it's going to become a little bit difficult to know exactly where you're going and what you're doing, etc. Okay, so anybody remember the folders that I said we needed to create? What were the folders again? If anybody can remember those folders, well, if you were listening, which I hope you were, because if you weren't listening, that's awful. They were articles, branded articles, and then logos. So let me just show you how I actually did this myself. So I'm going to just bring up my screen again, and I'm going to show you the folders that I actually have here. So now I have 2 screens, so I just need to flick over here. This is the great thing about live TV, you know. Okay, so here we have it here. Um, what I have done here is I have created articles, branded articles, and logo. Now, what I did then was I downloaded all the articles, I unzipped the articles, which of course you have to do. And then this took me a little bit of time, but I took every single PDF and I put it into the articles folder. Okay, so what I did was I had a folder here, there was a PDF here, and I just dragged it into the articles folder. And here are all of my articles. Okay, everybody with me so far? Everybody is doing okay? People aren't confused yet? Okay. Just let me know in the chat, because it's always important to make sure that I'm not confusing you in any way. Okay. So let me just bring up the chat here so I can see. No, everybody seems to be good. Okay. Now, Angie has said yes. So I don't know if that's yes that you're okay, yes that you're confused. I presume you're okay. Now, the second thing that I would do is, and because I'm on Mac, I can just do a quick preview here. But there will be options on PC as well. Is I just want to have a look at the articles. So let me just share my other screen here so that you can see that, because the Mac won't let me show it otherwise. And what I do is I just have a look at these articles. And when I go like that, I just have a look at the article. Now, what am I looking for specifically in this article, you may ask? Well, I want to see the positioning of any text or maybe any borders that may be down on the different pages. So that one is fine. This is the next one, 5 quality family activities to do. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. 9 ways to avoid gaining weight, 13 lessons. And as I go down through all of these articles here, you will see that this one. This one really caught my eye. Autumn Fantasy. What will yours be? It's quite an interesting article. What you will see is that all of them are more or less the same format. That they have the heading up at the top, and then there's nothing at the bottom. Now, why do you think it's important to check what is there at the bottom? Why might that be important? Yeah, and of course, this is being recorded. So if you have to leave early, you will be able to see the replay. We will send out an email, or it will be live on our YouTube channel. So why might it be important just to check the article before you do anything? When I ask a question, it's usually just to get a bit of water. Okay. Well, you want to make sure that, as I said, there is no formatting issues here. Okay. And you can see where to place your logo. Okay. So we've done step one. We've downloaded the articles that we want. We have also then, we have our logo in place. So I just have a logo here. If I go back, I just have it. I went back too much. Okay. So if I go in here, I have a logo, which is this logo here, which is just a little sample logo that I created. And I think I'm ready to go. So are you ready to go to see how we are going to do the branding and to see the steps that we need to take? Just let me know. Just let me know if you are ready. Because if you're not ready, well, then I'll just wait a second. But, I'm interested to know if you're ready. Now, let me just bring this over here while I'm waiting. You want to make sure that you unzip the file, as I said, all the files, and move all the PDFs into the article folder. Okay. Now, let's get branding, as the PowerPoint says. So here is tip number one. There's 3 ways of doing branding. You can brand with just a URL at the bottom of each page of the actual PDF. You can brand with an image, which would be your logo, at some position within the document. And you can have the watermark. Now, what is the watermark? The watermark feature I really like, because the watermark allows you to put a piece of text behind the actual text on the page that's quite faded, but you can still see it. Now, anybody tell me why you might use a watermark on your actual PDF. Why would you want to use a watermark? I mean, what would be the reason for using a watermark there? Mhm. Because there is a certain reason for doing that, and let me just bring up this screen. So why would you want to do? I mean, why would you want to use a watermark? What is the advantage to having a watermark on your PDFs? Now, remember, the watermark is different from the actual from the actual URL that you're going to put in. Okay. Now there's some interesting things here. People can't copy and rebrand as your own. Ownership protecting your content. Yes. Okay. Because what can happen is that somebody could take your PDF, and let's say you have the URL at the bottom of the PDF. Well, maybe they print out all the pages and they cut off that URL. So the copyright Richard Butler and the link to my website is gone. But if I have a watermark on the back of it, I mean, behind the actual text, then it becomes more difficult. Okay. It becomes more difficult for somebody to actually steal that, because if they do photocopy it, if they do give it away, they will see the watermark. Okay. No one can copy it. Watermark will remain. No Xerox. Yeah. I mean, nobody can actually go and print it out. Okay. So let's go. Let's bring up the PLR.me website here. And the first thing to remember is that the tools that you get in your PLR.me membership are for paid members. Now, what is a paid member? Somebody who has a monthly subscription with us or a yearly subscription. So it's a really good idea to consider upgrading your subscription if you are just on a free account. And if you want to, if you want more information about that, you can go to plr.me/pricing to see the pricing, or you can actually, if I just put it up here, you can see all the pricing options here in PLR.me pricing, or you can go to book a call. So you can go to PLR.me, book a call, and that will allow you to book a call with me if you've never had a call with me before, and I can walk through all of the actual steps with you and tell you all about the pricing and explain it all. Okay, so let's have a look. I log into my PLR.me account, I go to tools, and I go to PDF Brander. Now we're going to take some time to go through all of the items here, and I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the first thing that we have here is we have a number of options. We have a header branding, we have a footer branding, and we have a watermark. Okay, so we're going to start with footer branding. Now, the first thing that you have to do is you need to take your time on this and experiment a little bit. Okay. So I would go to footer branding, first of all, because I want to put on a footer. And I think the first thing that I'll do is I'm going to put a logo on I think I'll put it on the bottom right. So I'm going to choose file here. And when I go to choose file, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into where I have everything saved, and I'm going to go to logo, and I'm going to choose this logo up here. So I upload the logo here. Now, second important thing that I would always do is I would just bring this down to maybe the middle section here, so the logo is not too big. And you, when you play with this, you will see what happens. I'm going to get rid of the text here, discover the free tools, but I am going to put in my website. Okay. Now, very, very important, you need to think, where do I want to position that logo? So I want to position it, I said right bottom. So if I just go down here and I choose a right bottom, this is very important. And sometimes I forget to do this. And then I brand a document and it's in the middle here. Okay. I can choose a font if I want. You need to experiment with this. I got really excited because I discovered a font that I think was called Irish Clover. And I said, Bigara, I'm going to brand with Irish Clover. But it wasn't that nice. I mean, it was nice because it was very Irish looking, but it wasn't very legible. I couldn't read it that well. So I'm going to leave it at Open Sans Light. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up one of my PDFs here. Just let me put this over here. And I'm going to drag this over to select the file. Okay, I want you to start to count. How long do you think it will take to actually brand one PDF? I'm just going to drag it over here. I'm going to let go and I'm going to say one, two. Hold on a second. Did you see that? I mean, can we replay this in slow motion? We don't have instant replay, but that was pretty quick, right? So let's have a look and see if this one worked out the way I wanted it to be. So I just click on it. Okay, 4 things to consider with who to spend. Okay, I go down, I go down. Oh, look, there's my logo. So that's on page 1. I wonder if it's on page 2. Oh, it's on page 2. Okay. Now, if I hover over the logo, it's a clickable link. That's pretty cool. So when I click on it, it will go and it will open up PLR.me. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Now, why would you use our tool instead of using Canva? Well, let's have a look. You unzip everything. You then have to go to Canva. Then you need to go to upload. Then you need to find your logo. Then you need to upload the logo and paste it onto every page. And then how do you make a clickable link in Canva? I don't know how. I honestly don't know how to make a clickable link in Canva. I'll probably spend about 20 minutes looking to see how I do that. So to do one PDF, even when you have everything down to a T, might take you 2 minutes. And then you have to download it and Canva has to render it. I mean, the PLR.me tool is pretty cool, right? Anybody say, yeah, that is pretty cool. I don't see jaws dropping at this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Export as PDF because I just want to export this. This is on Safari. If I was on Chrome, I would just download it. But let me just put this into branded articles. Now you may say, why am I putting it into branded articles, Richard? And that's a very good question, because in order to now put a URL on my PDF, I need to do everything one step at a time. So I can't do all 3 things in one go. So let me just refresh this page just so I clear out the logo there so it's not there. And I'm going to say footer branding again. I'm going to say find more info, click here. And I'm going to put in my website because I want to put in, what I'm putting in here is a footer link. Now, be very careful because the position that we used for the logo, if I just bring it up here, if I go into branded articles and I open that, the position that we used was bottom right. So center bottom, well, let's put it at left bottom. Okay. So now what I do is I go to my folder of branded articles and then I just go here and bang, it's done. Okay. Now I scroll down and now I have another link here. So I now have 2 links. I have a link on my logo. I have a link on find more info here. Okay. Now here's where you need to be really organized. I have this in branded articles. I'm actually going to just delete this, okay, because I don't want to have 2 copies of the same item. So just let me throw that in the trash bin. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go again, because I'm on Mac, I'm going to go File, Export as PDF. And I'm going to export that into branded articles. And now if I just check that, I have the 2 items here. Okay, let me take a drink and let me see if there are any questions here. Okay, so Steven says pretty simple. Hurricane Dave, how you doing? Says wow. So can you link to can I link to my website? Yes. You don't need to link to the PLR.me website. I can see the Genius folders, easy editing and updating consistently. Yeah, I mean, can I let you in on a little secret? I'm not that organized. Okay. But shh, don't tell anybody. Okay. I'm not really that organized. So this has really helped me when I've used the tool to actually do that. Now, the wow moment hasn't come up yet. I will warn you when the wow moment is coming up so that you can actually sit down and just make sure that, I mean, because it's a wow moment. Okay. Um, if your yellow brick road is asking, can we do the logo and URL in one go? I would recommend no. It's better to do it's better to do it in three different stages. Okay. Um, how can to get okay? So when you go into PLR.me, you will actually see a menu which is called Tools, and then you go to PDF Brander. Now, again, the PDF Brander and all of the tools are only for monthly or yearly members. Okay. It doesn't cost anything extra. If you are, well, the only way you can access the tools are by being a monthly or yearly member. Okay. What about changing font colors, font style, etc.? Ask Stephanie. Okay. What you can do is you can change the font size here. You can change the font style here if you want. You can change the font color, the outline color, the padding where it's actually positioned, etc. You need to play around with that. The problem is that the more you play around with that, you just want to make sure that it's not overlapping on the document. So I usually keep the default. I mean, the one thing that I usually change is the position, and then I normally just leave everything else as is. But I mean, you could increase that up in size. Um, so Karen asks, if you're not a member, how do you rebrand? Well, you won't be able to use this tool, Karen, unless you are an actual paid monthly or yearly member. There may be other tools, or you could use Canva, as I say, but this is super quick. Okay, so now where are we at? Well, where we're at is we have a logo, and we have a click to find more information. Now, why would I put two clickable elements on the actual document? Well, because some people may not actually click on the logo. They might realize that the logo is clickable. Okay, so they might just say, "Oh, well, there's no links here." Okay, but here we have the clickable link. Now, the last thing we want to do is the watermark. So I go into watermark and I just click on watermark here. Remember, if I've just put in my logo, or even if I haven't, I would just click on refresh just to make sure that all the settings are back to default if you wish. Okay, so I go to watermark. I put in then here, not for resale. Okay, so that people don't actually resell it. I put in my website, PLR.me. Okay. I can leave that font for watermark. It comes up as Havelic Abode 70. And then I check to make sure I'm in branded articles. And I go select file. I upload that. And before you can say, is it branded yet? It's actually branded. Okay, so I click on this to see my new PDF. And look at that. Not for resale. Now, this is very useful. And where I first really saw watermarks was when I started my teaching career, that a lot of teaching materials would have a watermark on the back that would say not photocopiable, because a lot of the times what would happen is that workbooks and language books would be just bought by one person and everybody would take photocopies of them. So that's one of the things that you can do. And oh, look at that. That becomes a clickable link as well. So now I really have everything branded. I have my logo, I have my find more info here, and then I have this here. So what do you think so far? Pretty easy. Why don't I have a preview before executing? If you get it wrong, okay, Stephen. If you get it wrong, then that's a waste of block of time. Okay, so the idea here is that you would test a PDF first and just check. The first thing, as I said, is open up the PDF, make sure that there is nothing blocking in the area that you want. But once you do it once, you will get into the swing of this and it'll become so quick. And the wow moment is coming up just in a little while here. Um, Stephanie says, would you recommend using this as a freebie to entice clients to set up a call with you or visit your website to book a call? You absolutely, you could. I mean, I would always say with a freebie, make sure that at least some of your freebies are behind um, like it's on a landing page where they have to give you their email address and their actual name. But the thing is that you could use, if you watched one of my earlier questions and answers sessions, we talked about slideshare.net, which is where you can put up PDFs for free that people can actually just look at. And you could put them up there, or maybe you put on LinkedIn and or Facebook, and then people can just download it from there. But definitely brand. But what do you put on the link, or what do you put on the text? Well, like I said before, what is the purpose of this PDF? If it's just to find out more information or to go to your website, well, then that's fine. But you could change this to book in a strategy session with me now. It's free. Click here, and then people could click through. Okay. Um, can you watermark with your logo? That is actually that's a great question. So let's just try that. The problem the problem is that depending on the size of the logo, uh, it could be a little bit problematic. So let me just go in here and let me take that logo there. Let's bring it up and let's see what that does. Now, what I'm actually doing here is I'm using the one that already has the branding on it, but let's just drop that over there. And let's see this one here. I mean, you could, but I don't think it looks that great. I mean, you could get a special logo, but I would actually say it would be better to just use the text on it, because the problem is it may just obscure it a little bit. It may just make it a little bit busy. Let me just put in A here, branded articles. And I just want to have a look at one thing here. It also just increases it a little bit in size. I mean, can it be done? Yes, it can. Should you do it? Well, I wouldn't necessarily. Okay. Super cool, awesome, wow, amazing, easy as pie, little party. Okay, we'll rewatch. Thank you, this is great. Okay, so what would you like to see now? Would you like the wow moment or not? Okay, this is where organization comes in. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, like, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, just give some love, and let me hear that you are liking this so far. Okay, let me just have a quick drink, and this is water. It's not a vaping device, just in case people say, oh my god, he's vaping on video. Okay, so getting ready to wow. Now, how long do you think it might take? What if I want to brand 14 documents? Okay, so let's just go back into my article section. What if I wanted to brand all of these documents here? How long would that take to do manually? Let's say in Canva, even if you're super quick with Canva, I'm going to say maybe 1 minute per document. And that's being super quick. By the time you upload the image, by the time you put it in the exact spot, by the time you copy it 3 times into the actual document, by the time you generate and download it, I'm going to guess about a minute each. So if you have 22 documents, I think there's 22 that I have here, 22 minutes. What do you think? Would 22 minutes be about right? I think so. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is and get ready to, wow. And if you like what I'm going to show you, I want you to write wow in capital letters at least. And then you can put in emojis to show the emotion there. But I want you to see this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into footer branding. I'm going to choose my logo. And what is the one thing I need to do with my logo? Okay. If you remember from the earlier part of the training. Well, if you remember, one of the things that I did, and you can play around with this, as I say, you need to play around with this, but I'm just going to put the scale of the logo down to the middle there. Okay, so it's just a little bit smaller. You can see what happens if you don't do that. It might be a little bit bigger. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, thank you for the drum roll. Okay, scale. Yes, Majesty, you got it right. So let me first of all get rid of that text there. Let me go in here and I'll keep putting in your answers of how long you think it's going to take me to brand 24 24 documents with my logo. Okay, I have the font. Remember, I want to put the center bottom. I'm going to put it to right bottom. Okay, yeah. Now, remember that I don't use the header. There is a header option there, but I don't necessarily use the header because maybe it might just obscure a little bit there. Okay, it might just do that. 2 minutes. Okay, so let's do this. I am going to hold down the shift key. The first one selected, hold down the shift key, select the last one there. And I want you to count with me. So I'm going to drag these over to here. There's 23 of them. And I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's done. Okay. So in under or just under 6 seconds. Okay. Let's not say 5 because it was probably 6. There we go. All of those have been branded. Now let me just check one to make sure that it looks okay. Yeah, the logo is there. So what do you think? Wowie. Okay. Yeah. Wowie. Now, here's something that could potentially be a pain. And that is that you have to manually download each one of these. Like, come on, guys, can I not just download it in one go? Yes, you can. Look what has magically appeared, but a download all button. Now, the next couple of steps that we're going to do, this is where you need to be really organized. Okay. This is where you really need to be organized. So I'm going to click on download all. That's going to download a zip file. Okay, I'm just going to grab that zip file here. Actually, let me just open up my folders here. I'm just going to go into my downloads, and it should be this one here. I'm going to drag that into my PLR.me folder. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete the 2 items that I have in my branded articles. Okay, and I want to find that zip file. So that zip file is here. I'm going to drag that into branded articles. Okay, so again, if you have questions, I'll take the questions just in a second, but you can always rewatch this video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this zip file. It opens up in branded articles. It creates a new folder here called branded articles 1937. Now, there's a couple of things that I can do here. For the sake of being tidy, I'm going to delete that zip file. Okay, because I just want to tidy it. And I might actually just rename this. Okay, now you'll see why just in a second. So this is branded with logo. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to refresh. And I'm going to put in the watermark. Okay, so the watermark is going to read, let's put it in capitals. This is important, not for resale. PLR.me, not in capitals this time. PLR.me. Okay. I'm not going to change anything here. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to click on the first one, click on the second one, drag these up to here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. This time I didn't actually get up to 5. Okay. They've all been rebranded. So let me download that. And then what I want to do is I want to bring those ones that I just did into my branded area here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my downloads. This is the new PDF. I'm going to move it in here. And you see, when I moved it, it just means that I'm not going to accidentally open up the second or the first one. Now, I move this into branded articles. Okay. I double click on the PDF. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this one to, what do you think I might call this? Well, I'm going to call it branded with logo and watermark. Now, the thing is that if you keep the previous version, if you make a mistake, what if you put in no for resale, or you forget to put in and you just have sale on it? You can always go back because you have this version of it here. So if I open up this now, what we should have, fingers crossed, is not for resale and our logo. Okay, it's time for me to have a look and see what people say. Okay, I see, love it, wow, amazing, bing, bang, boom. Wow, okay, wow, okay, I love icon, wow, super cool, download all, nice tool. How did you do this so quickly again? Okay, I'm gonna go through it again because there's a third step, okay? So yeah, we drag everything there. Okay, 5 minutes. Now what we want to do, the final thing that I want to do is, well, what is the final thing I want to do with these items? Well, the final thing I want to do is I want to put in my URL. Okay. So I'm going to reload this page just to clear everything out. So because, well, here's an important thing. If I don't reload the page and I drag all of the branded documents into the select file button, it will add it to that list of previously branded documents. So then I'll get doubles. So refreshing just clears everything. It's a really good idea. Okay, Maria Woa. Okay. Worth the annual fee, says retirement plan coach. Okay, so this time what we want to do, book a call. Okay, so I want to put in a URL which says book a call here. Okay. Now, sometimes we do have to put in something as obvious as click here because sometimes people will forget to click. Okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete this and I'm going to put in PLR.me / a call. We are booking URL. And if I'm back here at branded, I can see that the ones that I want to use are branded with watermark. Okay, so I open up this folder and for the person who asked the question of how did he do this, I click on the first one, I click on the second, the last one, and then I hold down my mouse button and drag it onto the select files. Now, again, I'm going to count to see how long this takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it's done. Okay, now I click on download all. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my downloads. I'm going to take the PLR zip file, put it into the webinar folder that I had here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that PDF. Oh, Richard, 1 second. Let me just get rid of this PDF here so there's no confusion. So this is where, as I said, a little bit of organization is going to help you avoid frustration because you'll get mixed up with your PDFs. I put in the zip file into the branded articles. I double click. And what am I going to call this folder? What am I going to rename this folder to? I'm going to rename it to, if I go into rename, logo, watermark, and URL. Okay. So do you see what I've done here? If I had deleted all of the files as I went, and I hadn't created these folders, if I messed up the last, let's say I open up the this one with the URL, and then I say, and look, it's happened, and I didn't do this on purpose. Actually, I wanted that to be in the bottom left rather than in the middle. Well, if I deleted everything else, it's going to be a bit of a pain because I'd have to maybe go into my recycling bin and empty everything out. But now what I can do is I can say, okay, I don't want to have it here because it looks unbalanced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. Okay, I'm just going to reload this page. And to be on the safe side, I'm going to get rid of these two here. I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to go and I'm now going to say I want footer branding. And I say I want this to be left bottom. Okay. Book a call with PLR.me. Book a call, which remember you can book a call with me if you've never booked a call before and we haven't spoken, you can do that. And now what I do is a little bit of subtle advertising there if you want to book a call. I go into logo and watermark. Let me just check left bottom, book a call. I grab these all because I clicked on the first one, clicked on the last one, holding down the shift key. And 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't even get up to 7. Download all, as always. Okay. I go to my downloads. I find the zip file. I bring it in here. I open it up. And I find that zip file here. I bring it into branded articles. I double click on this. And remember, I said that I would rename this to branded with logo, watermark, and URL. Now, let's see if I got this one right this time. If I go in here, fingers crossed, yes, book a call with Richard. That will, if I just open it up in preview, because it won't actually show me the links until I open it up in preview. We have that. We have this link here, and we have this here. Okay. Tell me, what do you think? Again, I'm going to take a drink. So let me just go back to my full screen here and let me take your comments and thoughts. Oh, I went a bit pinky there. Okay, so cool. Do you have to have membership to use this tool? Yes, Lorenzo, you need to have a membership. Wow. Question: did you rewrite the article? No. So Savita's just asked, did I rewrite the article? No. Let's say I want to put these into my membership site, and I say, well, I'm not going to have them on a publicly available site. It's my membership site. I love the articles as they are. What I can actually do is I can just rebrand them really quickly if I don't want to change anything, because a lot of people say, well, look, the content is fine. Those affirmation reflections or those articles are fine. I'll just put them as additional material on my website. I haven't rewritten a word. Okay. As we've just said there, you can rewrite. But here we're just demoing how quickly you can brand the PDFs. Okay. Okay, so for example, as well, if you are filling a library for your clients, it doesn't actually have to be rewritten, but you can be added into a members area. Okay, to rewrite, you would edit the original Word document, and then you could actually then save as a PDF. Okay. Do you have a training video plan or available for editing PDFs? Yes, we do. You can go to PLR.me/videos, or you can find it on our YouTube page as well. Okay. Let me see what else. It would be a lot better if you could be done in one step instead of 3. Okay, Stephen, would be a lot better if it could be done in one step instead of three, even doing them in bulk 3 times the work. I mean, yes, of course it would be better, but I mean, I'm doing this really slowly, and I mean, I could do this in 4 or 5 minutes, if I were doing it myself. And once you get into the rhythm, I know it seems a little bit time consuming, but that's because I'm doing it slowly. I mean, I was doing things the other day, and I was doing them super quick. I mean, damn, 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 like that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. What's this that I see? We are working on new features, a new version, which Oh, well, that's something that Stephen has found out before I did, that we're working on new features and a new version, which will allow and make things even easier. So remember, PLR.me is not a company that sits down on its laurels and says, hey, we're so wonderful. We don't need to do anything else. We are constantly working in the background, producing more content, working on tools, lots of improvements under the hood, as they say. So there's lots going on. So yeah, I actually no, I didn't know about this one, Stephen. Actually, so thank you for bringing that up. So there we go. Okay. And then another question there. Is this a regular weekly training and are they recorded? How do we find them? Joseph, you can find them on our YouTube channel. If you are a free member, we also email out to tell you that we actually have the recording up, but you can find it on our PLR.me YouTube channel, and you can also find it under PLR.me/videos. We also upload them to our site. This is regular. Um, there may be one day where, speaking of holidays, I might take a Thursday and Friday off, and there won't be one, but we will let you know. Okay. Great demo today. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thanks so much for this demo. Thank you. This is valuable. Okay. So, as I always say in my demos, it's great to watch me doing it, but I want to see you taking action. I mean, I know last week, and I had some of you reach out to me via email saying that you had taken action, that you had created a podcast, that you had set up an account on anchor.fm, etc. So the key here is take action. Okay. Hey, Stefan. Make sure that you take action and start doing this. So um, don't sort of hold yourself back and say, well, what if no, I'm not going to do it until, I mean, if you have a membership site, you could take 15 articles, brand them, and put them on your membership site as is, if you wish, like what we mentioned earlier. Um, Now, this also works with your own PDFs. I mean, if you have, let's say you have 20 or 30 or 40 PDFs that you have created over the last couple of years in your business, you can actually use those PDFs as well. It's not specifically just ours. Wow. I have to share this comment, glad I canceled my appointment to watch this. Okay, wow. Okay. I hope it wasn't an overly important appointment or a medical appointment, but thank you so much for that. Yeah, as Stefan says, and like Nike, copyright symbol of the Nike Corporation, says just do it. Copyright trademark symbol as well of the Nike Corporation, just to make sure that everything is okay there. Always great info. Action is my downfall. I'm going to get through this and be more productive. Okay, so let me just finish on this topic of taking action. I mean, it happens to me as well that sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes you say there's so many things that I have to get done, but forget about everything that you have to get done and just say, okay, this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 PDFs and I'm going to brand them. And that's it. And over the next 5 days, I'm going to put up 1 PDF every second day on my website or on Facebook, or I'll set up a landing page and just do that one thing. And that is this. Okay. As Savita says, take imperfect action. I mean, what is perfect for me is not perfect for others. And many people who know me well know that my state of perfection is not the state of perfection that others But we all have different levels of perfection. But it's better to have taken action than not taken action. Okay. And that's, that is the key takeaway. Take action. I mean, it's like anything. I tell my clients when I'm helping them with their English language skills, coming and taking classes with me is great. But if you don't take action in between, well, nothing's going to happen. Okay. Somebody goes and plays football every week and trains every week. I mean, if they go and they train for 2 hours and they have one game and then they don't practice during the week, well, they would get much better if they practiced on a regular basis. So make sure that you do that. Um, okay, Trina says that she is going to be upgrading very soon. Trina or anybody else, if you have any questions, make sure that if you haven't already, book a call in with me and I'll walk you through all the options to see what is the best option for you, and what works for your particular situation, because maybe the monthly option is best for you after I've talked to you. Maybe the yearly option is best. Maybe our mid-level package, our starter package is best for you. But we can talk about all of that because I like to get to know our clients and talk to them about their business. And you can go into PLR.me and book a call as long as you haven't had a call with me before. And you will actually get to talk to me, because sometimes, I get on the call, and when the client jumps on the call, they say, "Oh my God, it really is you, the guy from YouTube," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." Okay. Lee is upgraded. Our Esteban is an upgrade member and loves it. Okay, so Lee has a podcast out. Done is better than perfect. Exactly. Okay. Um, any final questions before we wrap this up? As I say, first of all, what I want to say is, thank you so much for taking time out today. I know, for example, in EST, it's 1 p.m. In Central. If I'm correct, it could be just it's 1 to 2. In Central, it's 12 till 1. And here in Barcelona, I'm always here from 7 to 8 Central European time. So it's crazy, all the time zones. You guys are just starting your day. I'm just finishing my day. And as I always say, it's time to feed the Irishman. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Jan says upgrade ASP, one of the best decisions you can make this year. Emery, thanks for being available for the call. Richard, yeah, Emery, if you haven't already booked in, do please book in. Nikki, can we use our own personal materials and brand them through your site? Yes, you can. If you have your own PDFs, you can actually brand them yourself. Jan and Timo upgraded a couple of days ago. Totally worth it. Are we doing a video on creating membership sites? It's a very good question, Lee. And one of the challenges can be that there are so many membership sites out there. Okay. And there's so many different options that we never like to recommend one option, because we don't know your skill level. We don't know what website you have, etc., etc. But it's something that I'll talk with the team and see. Savita says, and he's funny. Love you. Okay. Thank you, Savita. I may be going a little shade of red there. VG says, this was great training. Thank you. Well, guys, thank you so much. And will you be here next Friday? I was going to say next Thursday. I hope so. Make sure that you have liked this video. If you're watching the replay, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let us know. I will be reviewing the actual comments tomorrow, and I will see you here, same bat time, same bat channel, as they used to say back in, was it the 60s or 70s? And of course, yes, thank you to my wonderful assistant. Register for the trainings. That you make sure that you actually register for the trainings there, which is lu.ma/PLR trainings. Okay. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I shall bid you all a fair day, a fair evening. As I'm doing a lot of references here. As you say in the Truman Show, good. I'll say good morning, good afternoon, and good night, just in case I don't see you. All right. Talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful day. This is Richard saying.